Okay, get yourself ready for your afternoon restorative practice. Have blankets that you can cover yourself up with. If you're going to be cold, have a blanket on top of your usual mat, just to give you a little additional comfort. Ideally, you want some darkness, although it's not always achievable. So you can always use an eye pillow if you have one, just to cover your eyes up with. Have a bolster for underneath your knees, a couple of blocks for underneath your feet, and then a folded blanket for underneath your head. So just make sure that the fold is even, and then just come down, just cover my feet, come down into the basic relaxation pose. So this feels always really good to find your basic relaxation pose at the beginning of the session, just to allow yourself to relax. So make sure you're going to be warm enough, so cover yourself over if you need to, and allow yourself to just release into the floor. Allow your body to consciously relax into the ground. Just listen to the sound of your breath. With each exhalation, allow yourself to release into the floor a little more. Let the muscles relax in the arms and the legs. Consciously unhook the muscles of the arms and the legs so that the body becomes heavy on the ground. Draw your attention into the soles of the feet. Draw your attention into the soles of the feet so that the skin and the muscle tingles with consciousness. Draw your attention into the soles of the feet, and then consciously relax the soles of the feet. Draw your attention into the soles of the feet and relax the soles of the feet. Let the muscles soften. Let the muscles relax. And draw your attention into the tops of the feet. Draw your attention into the tops of the feet so that they tingle with awareness. Consciously relax the tops of the feet so that the skin and the muscle, bones completely relax. Draw your attention into the shins, relaxing the tops of the feet. Draw your attention into the shins and allow the fronts of the shins to sink into the bed of the calf muscle. Just allowing the shins to completely relax. Allow the shins to sink into the calf and then consciously observe the knees and the thighs, allowing the fronts of the knees and the fronts of the thighs to sink into the backs of the knees and the thighs. Draw your attention into the thighs and allow the fronts of the thighs, the fronts of the knees to sink into the backs of the legs. Draw your attention into the pelvis, just letting the legs completely relax into the floor. Pelvis and the abdomen, letting the legs completely let go. Relax the abdomen and allow the muscles around the rib cage to really soften. Draw your attention into the abdomen and the diaphragm and the lower ribs and the upper ribs, and allow all of that to just completely relax. Relax the chest and the arms into the floor, and consciously relax your shoulders, drawing your weight into the upper arms. With the exhalation, allow the shoulders to relax, allow the muscles of the arms to consciously relax. Let the muscles in the arms and the forearms and the palms completely relax. Relaxing the arms all the way down to the body. Consciously relax the arms into the floor until they become light. The arms and the forearms and the palms. Just find that lightness in your stillness. Just relax the arms into the floor and relax the neck and the throat and the muscles around the face and the skin. Soften the skin around the skull, especially around the face, and allow the body to just surrender into the straight line of the floor. Just enjoying that feeling of filling the lungs and emptying them with each exhalation, releasing down into the floor a little more at a time. Just enjoying this sensation of relaxation and no demand on your time. Just taking deep inhalations, deep exhalations, really conscious breathing. Okay, when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wiggle your toes, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, just bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. And then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, have your feet apart and your knees together, just gently releasing your back into the floor. And then when you're ready, just gently roll over onto your right side. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just come into cross legs for a moment, just observe how your energy has changed. Okay, so we're going to do our mountain brook pose. So this is really good if you're looking for a bit of energy. So just unfold your folded blanket, so it's a kind of a quarter fold, and then fold it down the middle. So you've got kind of a slightly chunky, slightly narrow blanket. You're going to have that for your shoulder blades, and then you're just going to have the bolster underneath your knees. So you're going to come down onto the floor, bolster underneath your knees. Again, you can cover yourself up for warmth, and then come down. The shoulder blades should be the bolster, the folded blanket should be underneath your shoulder blades, and then just raise your arms over your head and rest your arms over your head. If your head feels like it rolls back a bit, you can put a blanket underneath. Just make sure that the blanket's right underneath your shoulder blades, and then just let the body release into the ground. So as you know, as we progress into our sequence this evening, I'll speak less and less as we go, just so that you can focus on relaxation without having to concentrate or listen. So once you get into position, then give the body an opportunity to just release into the floor. So this is a really good pose for opening up the energy of the armpits and just bringing release to stiff shoulders while bringing energy into the body. Okay, and then release your arms, just rest your hands on the floor to the side of you. Bend your knees on the bolster and then roll yourself off. Bring yourself into cross legs. And again, just observe your energy. Just observe the energy around your shoulders. So we're going to stick with shoulders and do our side lying stretch. So get your bolster, if you've got an oblong bolster, use that because it's just a little softer. But you can use your other bolster as well. Get a block for your head, and you can just fold the blanket over the top of the head just to give you a bit of comfort on there as well. Then you're just going to bend your knees and then just have the bolster in the armpit chest. Rest your head on the bolster, on the block, and then stretch your arm over your ear. Again, just covering yourself up. Just making sure that you're warm. So this, again, a really nice pose for the shoulders. Really nice release for the shoulders. Remember that if you're not comfortable, just adjust your position until you are. If it's stiff for your shoulders, then you can have a block underneath your hand, this upper arm. Otherwise, just rest down into the floor. Aim to breathe evenly into both lungs, evenly out of both lungs. Okay, bring the top arm back to rest on your hip. Push the bottom elbow into the floor and then bring yourself up into cross legs. Just spend a moment to observe how your energy feels. And then we'll do the same pose just on the other hip. So just sit on the other hip, bend in your knees as you were last time, and then just bring yourself along the bolster so that the bolster is underneath the armpit chest. Rest the arm that's on the floor in a little right angle, and then rest the top arm over your head. Okay, bring the top arm back onto your hip, push yourself up into the seated position, and then just sit cross legs and observe how your energy is balanced out. And we're going to do a little spinal twist, a really nice twist. So just turn your bolster long ways. Again, you're going to have your knees bent, your hip close to the bolster, and then you lift up into the chest. Lengthen the chest along the bolster, and then rest your head the same direction as your knees. You might want to raise your bolster up a little bit if it's not comfortable. Just find your pose and then release into it. So have your elbows on the floor either side of the bolster, but have the elbows wide enough apart so that you're not supporting your weight with your elbows, you're just draping yourself over the bolster. Okay, push your hands into the bolster, into the floor, push yourself up into cross legs, just observe your energy. And then we'll just do the other side. Just sit with the other hip close to the bolster, keeping your knees bent, and then face the bolster, lengthen your chest along the bolster, and then rest your head in the same direction as your knees. And then release into the bolster. So gentle spinal twist, just bringing space into the lumbar spine. Okay, push your hands into the floor, just bring yourself up, back up into cross legs. Just feel the space around the lower back and around the shoulders. Just a nice sequence of poses that open up your energy. And then to finish, we're going to go into our heart pose. So get your folded blanket and just fold it into just a little kind of pillow shape. Have that for your head, and then keep the bolster where it is. Just have your legs stretched out, just stretched out in a straight line. Then guide yourself down over the bolster, and then make sure that your head isn't rolling back. So have a blanket underneath your head, and then just allow the chest to be opened up with the bolster. If you feel like you need to adjust for comfort, then do. Otherwise, just allow yourself to just lay back onto the bolster and completely relax. Let the legs completely relax. Let the chest open around the bolster. Let the arms rest down on the floor. Allow the arms and the legs to completely relax. Let the arms and legs become heavy. Push yourself up into a seated position. Just move the bolster that's underneath your back. Have the bolster just for the last couple of minutes underneath your knees. Have the folded blanket for underneath your head, and then just go back into the base basic relaxation pose just for the last minute or so, the last couple of minutes. Just releasing into the floor, feeling that perhaps the body can become heavy, but from that heaviness you observe an energetic lightness that radiates from the bones and into the muscles, and into the organs. To the flesh and the skin. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of lightness evenly down into the toes and into the fingers and up into the top of the head. Just basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. And then when you're ready, just wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, just bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. Have the bolster underneath your knees, the feet apart and the knees together for a moment, just resting your back into the floor. And then draw your knees in towards your chest, just have a little rock from side to side. Just massaging the spine and then roll over onto your right side. Stay down for a breath or two. And then stretch out the top leg, come back up into the seated position, a final spinal lift with the hands in the masti, just a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this evening, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the relaxation poses bring to the body and to the mind. Draw your chin down to meet your chest. Lift the chest up to meet your chin. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb, a gesture of wisdom, physical intelligence, and peacefulness that we can carry into our evening. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you have really lifted your energy and given yourself some good positive energy to put into your evening. Thank you very much for joining me.